We started?
We starting.
We rolling.
We back.
Shit. Welcome back, guys.
We in this bitch.
We took a little break again. To all our fans,
Hopefully the last time.
thank you. We appreciate your support. To all the haters, we still appreciate you. Yeah, we had to deal with a couple of,
Setbacks.
I guess you call them setbacks. I call them just weight that was not needed, and we just had to toss them out the door.
Jeez.
I want to give a shout out to my man Ben behind the camera.
Shot by Ben.
Welcome to the cast. We got a special guest in the building.
Uh-oh.
We got a serious special guest. Man, I don't know where to start. One of the craziest DJs in the city.
Jeez.
Crazy sound engineer. Crazy producer. Amazing human being. Mixed by OTR. What's poppin', brother?
Yo, what's good? What's good?
How are you?
Yo, thank you for
Good,
coming,
man.
bro.
Appreciate you guys for having me.
You looking sharp, bro. I like those glasses, too.
That sweater, though.
Yeah, that sweater. Stop
That
that.
drip.
Mixed by OTR?
Jeez.
Stop playing with the boy.
We in this bitch.
We here.
Toon Squad Season 2.
That's what's up.
Let's get to it. So I want you to introduce yourself. Tell us about, where you come from, how you grew up. Let us know.
What's good? It's OTR. Originally from Ottawa. Music. I don't know. It's pretty much it started, I would say, from just being around, I don't know, being Jamaican. You know? A lot of like sound system clashes and just like listening to like Stone Love mixes and learning how to like record, make cassettes with my dad. Like he would like listen to the radio station and like dub this song and then, for the next song type thing. That was like at a young age. And then like I keep always trying to remember like exactly what kind of led to it, because I get asked this question all the time. But like I remember my mom buying me a drum kit from the Source.
How old were you?
I was probably like 7 or 8.
Oh, that's really young.
I had I grew up with 4 sisters, and 2 of my sisters had friends, and they were always doing like dance choreography. So I'd always be there with them. So like the latest tracks that would come out, they'd be making dances to it.
Nice.
And then I was in church choir.
I was going to ask you. You definitely have to be in church.
So
Same.
church choir, and then
Yeah.
I was around people that were obviously like I didn't play for the church, but I played drums like at church, like at like practices and stuff, like for fun.
Nice.
And after that, it was pretty much just being around like the homies that was making music. Like I had a couple homies that were recording, mixing, and shooting like their own videos, and like they were like some of the people who started even like the hip hop, the real like rap scene in Ottawa. I wouldn't say they started it, but like at least in the West, like they led a good amount of it. And like
You wanna
from
give
like
them a shout out?
rest in peace Shylock,
Rest in peace.
IO. So like those were like the homies. They were like my best friends, older brothers. And yeah, so like they had a whole studio set up at the crib, and then I had another homie Switch, who was this kid could rap for like hours. Like literally put a beat on, he'll go like just keep going. Put another beat on, he'll just keep going. And he was recording his own stuff, producing his own stuff, mixing his own stuff, shooting his own videos, winning awards with that shit. Like so, like all of that was pretty much eye opening, and that's where OTR came from. Because myself, and 3 of my best friends, we just created this collective, which was On the Rise Collective. And at the time, I was just really into DJing, which was just something that like I picked up doing like around the crib, and like doing like mixtapes for like high school parties and shit like that, right? So
You used to DJ your high school party?
not at the high school party, but like I'd stayed up the night before, make a mix like on like virtual DJ, and then we play that at the party.
That's
awesome.
sick.
And then
You
yeah,
were
so
the DJ.
I was pretty much
you
a
were
DJ.
the
Yeah.
DJ, yeah.
So from that, I would say just like one thing after the other. Like after that, we created OTR. I got into production. I went to school, saw what engineering actually was. And I
That's
was just like,
cool. Where?
I came to Toronto for school, so I came to Trebas.
Okay.
How old were you when you came to Toronto?
How old was I? I was I think I was 19.
Okay.
Yeah, so I took a year off school, worked, and then came to Toronto, did the music program here. Didn't get no work, didn't get nothing, so I ended up going back home to Ottawa and pretty much just starting from like ground zero, like recording from my bedroom, working on songs from my bedroom. There was an artist that like I had met the year before that when I was in school, and Freddie Prince, and I seen him do like this Cold Capital rap battle thing, and I seen him on the street one day, and so I hit him up, and we just kept in contact. And when I moved back, he was like the first person that like I started working with. So like literally just had like taped some sheets, make like a kind of like a booth, you know. Or not, I didn't even tape them, I nailed it.
Like a
makeshift booth, and then I put some foam in it, and then had the mic in there, and like we just literally started recording from there. Had some KRKs and pretty much like that. And then he was going to this one studio in Orleans, which is like, I would say like maybe like Brampton from here.
Okay.
You know, so it's like maybe not that, like maybe 40 minutes drive from where I lived. And I started working at that studio, and then after that, my dad helped me build my own home studio, like full booth and
in Ottawa.
So it was in my crib. And we don't own the crib, right? Like, which is the crazy part. Like, we don't own the house. My parents was just renting, right? So, but my dad they're fully supportive of what I do. So like, helped me build like a home studio, yeah. And ended up coming back to Toronto in 2018, and then I was in the remix project, and then it's just been one thing after the other, like once again.
How was your experience in the remix project?
Yo, remix was good, man.
Not to go too deep into it, but just overall.
I think. So funny stories, like I actually applied to remix in 2014, going into 2015.
Okay.
Like, because my school was only a year.
Yeah.
So I ended up applying for a remix, and I got the call for the interview, but I had already taken a job back home, just a regular job, like just to be able to
tough spot to be in,
you know. But I also didn't really I didn't really know. I knew what remix project was, but I didn't really know. You know what I mean? Like I applied through like seeing it all the time, but also I seen the Jessie Reyes. She did this talk about it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So then I was just like, oh, cool. And then I seen who was involved, and I seen Rich Kid, and like just being from Ottawa, like I've always been involved, like invested in what's going on in Toronto. So like I knew who Rich Kid was.
Yeah.
And, like the work he's done for the Toronto sound and shit like that. So, but yeah, overall the remix project, man. Like, so yeah, well, actually no. So yeah, I ended up getting the call for the interview, and I couldn't take it because I was already getting a job back home. I already, you know. So I told him, I was just like, oh, like I already got a job, you know, and then like, maybe next time. And because I went to Trebas, Grouch, who is my DJ teacher, he does the DJ teaching at Remix. And when it came to 2018, when I applied, he was just like, you got to make sure this guy gets an interview, you know? So I did my interview, and they were like, okay, cool. Like, Grouch told us you were dope. We just wanted to make sure. And then they were like, you got to be here on Tuesday for orientation. So I went back to Ottawa. Like, I took the Greyhound down on Friday, did the interview, went back to Ottawa, worked the weekend at my job, and then just ended up coming, and then moved to Toronto the following weekend. No, I ended up driving back, took the whip back. Yeah. And then
just got that
I was
money.
Pretty much just, I was here. I have been here since.
Wow.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, remix was dope, man. Like, coming to Toronto with at least.
You graduated the 2018 class?
Yeah.
Oh, so, you guys had you had a ceremony at what's that on College? That place on College.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of it.
Across the Mod Club.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched that ceremony.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Wow.
But yeah, remix was dope. Like I would say coming to Toronto with experience, it was a good networking experience for me, because I could already like somewhat mix songs, and I could definitely record people, and I was definitely producing a lot at the time. So I feel like it was just perfect networking to just like be around people that are trying to do the same exact thing. So it worked out. It worked out pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. So like you told me you produce, you sound engineer, you DJ. Like, is there something between all three that like intersects for you, like that you like all in common, or do you like them all for different reasons?
So DJing is definitely for sure like the passion part of everything that I do. Like that's
okay.
like really like how I would say it even started for me.
By the way, y'all, if you haven't seen him DJ, y'all should follow him at Mix OTR. And whenever there's a next party, y'all should go because that motherfucker knows how to rock the crowd.
Pull up.
I've seen it multiple times, rocking the crowd.
Appreciate
Go
it.
ahead.
Appreciate it.
I had to say it, man. I've seen it.
But yeah, like DJing for me, it's something that I feel like it's almost second nature now.
Wow.
You know, like I kind of just like I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm sick, you know, and like I can out scratch everybody and all that shit. But
He's
like
sick.
when it comes to just like understanding music, like I was saying earlier, like the wedding that I was doing, I played like Cotton Eye Joe, and like I played another one bites the dust. Like after that, I played Poison. Like just the songs that I was selecting for the crowd that I was DJing for. I feel like a lot of people kind of miss it with my age because a lot of people are super new to it. But like I've literally watched, even just like when it comes to reggae, like I could do like a lovers rock party. I could do like a dancehall party, and like I could DJ for.
You've done a dancehall party before.
I've done, but like I could DJ for like my parents and they're like their friends. You know what I mean?
Got you.
And like and they will be happy with how the night went because like it's something that I've been kind of around for so long. And like I even just remember growing up, like anytime I would go out to the club with my friends and like I'd be like, oh, this track's coming next, and they'd be like, how do you know? And I'm like, because I just hear I just hear the transition, I hear the beat, and I already know the song, right? So it's like they would always call me out for it. So I feel like that part of the DJing is something that I love, and like I don't know, maybe that's why I love it so much. With production, I think production, I just leaned to it a lot because when I was listening to music growing up, especially when it came to like Lil Wayne, like me and the homies, it was like a fight to.
That's your favorite artist, right?
Definitely one of my favorites. Yeah. Okay. But when it came to like Wayne dropping new songs, like especially almost every day, like between me and the homies, it was a battle for who's gonna get the song first. You know what I mean? And literally like some like first? And like even like their older brothers, they would, if they got the track on whatever site they had it, they wouldn't even share it with us. Like we would just hear them playing it. It would be like crazy. You know, so I would end up remembering like the instrumentals more than I would lyrics because it's like I'm not hearing the full songs all the time, right? Wow. So it's the instrumental. So that would always click to me, and then even just like they'd be like, "Yo, you heard this line?" And I'm like, "Nah, like actually that line missed it because I'm literally listening to the beat." Yeah. So I feel like that's where the production part comes from it. And engineering, like I said, like I didn't really know much about engineering until I went to school, and then I was just like, as much as I always say like I don't feel like school did a lot for me in terms of like making me an engineer, you know, like giving me like the actual skill to like mix a song, you know, or even record someone, like being confident around someone recording. Like once I was finished school, I didn't have that, but like just understanding like, oh, this is what an engineer does, like that was super interesting to me. And I kind of like being like, aside from DJing, you have to be at the forefront in a way, but I kind of like being in the background, you know? So I felt like engineering was like perfect, you know, like it was, and the more that I do it is like the more that like I have days where I hate it. And I'm like, fuck, like, you know, like, damn, but then I have way more days where I'm like sick, like I'm actually getting better, you know?
I'd say you have to be patient, like, to do engineering, like just listening to the song and listening to the take over and over, and then you gotta tweak that just one little note or that one little extra bar of reverb or whatever it takes to just make it sound better. And it's like you're listening to the same thing over and over.
I was just listening to a project that I'm mixing right now on my way here. Just finished mixing it, and I was listening to it in the whip, and then I'm making revisions, and we're on like some of the mixes is like gonna be mix 8, some's gonna be.
Are you a perfectionist?
9, so I don't know about being perfectionist, because I would say if I was a perfectionist, I feel like a lot of shit would never ever come out. You know? Even this project I'm working on now, I would say I've been taking my time with it, but I've also been learning a lot on the process.
So to you, when do you feel like that mix or that song is it?
when I don't have no notes.
When you just like, okay, I don't need to change anything anymore.
Yeah, when I have like no notes.
Got you.
Technically, yeah.
Do you send it to other people to like hear it or listen to it? People that you
Like
trust within the
advice-wise?
industry or anything like that?
Not really. I think I definitely should more often. I think I forget how much people are like available sometimes.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I'm very like I keep to myself a lot
Uh-huh.
and I don't reach out as much, and so that like I wouldn't say it, like it's definitely something that I should do, but I think I have like different things that I do just to make sure that I know that the song's like.
Have you mixed a song like 100 times? Like which song was it that Michael mixed? I think of Billie Jean, or Thriller, one of those two, where he mixed like 100 times, and then they chose number 2. You ever done something like that?
I've definitely never mixed a song 100 times. I think, and don't get me wrong, it's not that I wouldn't.
Yeah.
But budget.
Right,
You know,
right,
like
right.
to do for those guys, there was budget.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
true. That is true.
For them to be able to do that.
A
For
big
me,
label budget.
yeah, like to answer your question before, like I usually what I will do is depending on the artist,
Uh-huh.
I have like a relationship with them. So it's depending on whoever it is, I'll be like, here's where it's at. Let me know what you think, and where can we take it, or this is the direction it's going. If I don't know you, I'm gonna try to get it to where I think it's perfect, or like if you have a ref, it's very much along with the ref, but obviously more polished and what you would ideally want it to sound like, and then from there we can go back and forth with notes.
Gotcha.
You know.
Okay, let me ask you, what's I mean, they're 2 in 1 question, but like, what are the stressful and challenging parts about engineering? You smile
because
you enjoy it all.
I'm just trying to think of just like, I feel like this is a me question. Like it's not like an overall. This is just like for me.
What
And I would
stresses
say
you out type of thing?
I would say one thing I've learned is that I gotta work on more songs that I enjoy.
Ooh.
Because if I don't enjoy the song, then I lose interest very quickly.
Does that stop the business though?
I don't think it stops the business, because I think like this is really random, but I remember someone was I think it was had to do when Kanye first came out with like that APC shirt. Like it was like APC, but it was just a white tee. It was like he's selling white tees now.
Right.
And it was like $100-something bucks.
Yeah.
And someone, I don't remember who, but it might have been someone like famous or something. And they're just like, just because you can't afford it doesn't mean that somebody else,
100%.
100% won't be able to get it.
Yeah.
And so I look at it like that. It's like, does it really slow the business down? Mm-hmm. That's like my price range for some people being like,
right.
Oh, it's too expensive. It's like, okay, well, that's technically slowing the business down, but it's for the better.
It's for
Because
gotcha.
if I want to work on it and you can't afford the price, then that's cool. But if you're shoving music in my face and telling me that my price is too expensive, then it's like, it's probably for the better that we're not gonna work.
Right.
So it's like, if I'm gonna work, if I'm gonna work on a song and I don't enjoy it, it's probably for the better that I not like decide to not work on that song, because I probably won't bring out the best out of the song. Like,
you ever had a challenge where the artist was just, I don't want to use this word, but I'm gonna say it, stubborn, and like they heard something and then they're like, no, I want it this way, and then you're telling them, no, it sound better that way.
No. I had one incident where someone paid me a deposit to mix a project. And like it was already going to be a lot of work. A lot of work already went into it. And when I sent them the mixes, they were just like, they sent me new refs. So like the references that I was mixing with the idea of like, this is what the song sounds like, or this is what it should be like, wasn't the correct. And he was trying to basically just get his money back.
What?
And I had someone helping me out with this project, so I was just like, ideally, like, there's already been a lot of man hours that's gone into this.
Yeah.
And like, from the jump, like we really went back and forth and into detail, and like there was other things that was going on like in this with working with this person. I just had like a feeling where I was just like, oh, this is gonna go left, you know, like
Yeah,
it was just
yeah.
like it was just one of those, and it ended up going literally like to like where like everything had to get disputed, and like I ended up being in favor because like I had all the proof that the work was being done. So it's like you just didn't like it just because you gave me the wrong stuff in the first place. You know what I mean?
Yeah. How many man hours you guys already spent on that?
It was a bit. Like definitely like I was working on it was 7 songs. We started working on it from like 2 weeks.
Oof.
Like, and not every single day, but out of those 2 weeks, probably like 6 or 7 days in the studio.
Wow.
Like, and not like
Yeah,
I'm not gonna say all day, but it's like you're still working on.
Yeah, you're spending
you know
hours.
I mean? Like
yeah.
melodyning and like literally editing, doing all that shit, and then mixing the vocals.
Yeah.
You know, like and mixing the whole song. Like, and yeah, the experience overall is just really like, you know, but I don't have those experiences often, and I don't really have it in me to tell someone when the song should be like this or when it shouldn't be like this. I think like I have ways of being like, how do you feel about like me doing this to this or like this part to da da da, but like if they were to say like no, I don't like it, then I just take it off because like it's their song, it's not mine. Like I'm just there to help.
But does that take away from your ear? Because I look at you and I say, okay, you have an ear for music. Your ear is trained.
Most definitely. And
does that take away from what you're hearing? Because you're listening to the songs that are out there. You're a DJ as well, right? And you're in the club. You're hearing the top 40. You're hearing all the songs that are hot. You see how they sound, right?
It doesn't take away from what I'm hearing or how I hear it, because at the end of the day, it's like I'm going to have songs that I really want. That for the most part, I look at it like this: like most of the work that I share, whether it's through like the playlist that I post with most of my work or like stuff that I post on Instagram, it's usually stuff that I'm proud of, you know, or some of my better work, you know. I have a lot of songs that I've worked on for a lot of people that may not just align with my work, you know, or my sound. But I just made sure that I tailored it to how the artist or client wanted it. You know, so it's like in cases where someone wants something similar, at least I can be like, oh hey, well I did this, you know. But for the most part, I think the way that I brand stuff, it's that I try to get stuff that's in line with like what I'm already doing.
Gotcha.
You know, or what I share.
Yeah. So you don't have to go off road.
Yeah.
Too much. It's just it's in your lane already. You know what you want.
Exactly.
Got you.
So I went through your discography, and like I noticed that like a lot of you've worked with artists like Division, Jenna Aiko. You know, a lot of the songs on the discography, like I see them in my playlists, you know, naturally before, which is so dope. And like, I just seeing that, I wanted to ask you, like, is there a certain collaboration you're most proud of?
Certain collaboration I'm most proud of. I want to be like, no, they're all, you know, but
nah, be honest. It's all love. We love everybody.
But most proud of, I think, I want to say that's yet to come, for real, like to be super honest. But I will say that each of those moments and these artists, for the most part, that I am super proud of to work with and be a part of, I've learned something like huge
From each
one. Yeah,
that's awesome. I love that.
Idman, who was in my remix round, she's now in LA. Signed the deal off a project that
phenomenal.
Myself, Rich Kid, executive produced. I was just engineering the project, so recording songs, mixing songs, and being in remix and like coming out of remix and then being able to even like see the opportunities of what can happen with an artist was like sick, you know?
Yeah.
I would say with Division, I learned a lot about just like creating records. Like just
Okay.
like just putting records together. 85 is genius. Like that guy is insane. Like the way he puts records together is just different. And I've been in rooms with a lot of people.
Yeah.
But he's just very
Different.
Yeah, he's just very different with it.
And I want to just elaborate to our audience and everybody. When you say put records, it's like they can have different ideas and then boom, they make it into one record.
Yeah.
All that type of stuff,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And Daniel's like real vocalist, you know? And on top of him being a real vocalist, he knows how to use Pro Tools.
Oh.
So a lot of the process of me being in the studio, he would comp a lot of his vocals himself. He'd go sit down, comp a lot of the takes.
Makes it so much easier for you.
I would be cleaning up sessions,
Yeah.
you know, by the end of it, and re-leveling up stuff and whatever, you know, like that he didn't take care of, but like he knows how to work in the studio. So like that was a different change because most of the times I'm the engineer, you know.
Yeah.
That people are just telling me like, put that take there, make this louder, blah blah blah. But for him, he was able to do it, you know, and he likes to be a part of it too. It's not like. It's
That's
not
different.
like I was trash or something. It was just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
he'll be
Yeah.
like, yeah, let me just copy
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
and then he'll be like, hey, just clean it up for me or whatever, you know what I mean? So it's like, with that,
You
yeah,
like artists like that? Like working with artists like that? Do you feel like it's a little easier or any of that? Or does it really make a difference for you?
I think it was so. What was really cool, I don't think it really makes a big difference as long as they're not like destructive.
Got you.
You know, with the session.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I think
yeah.
what was really cool, we worked out of Soda Studios. That's 40's studio, and the setup's kind of cool in there. And so like Daniel was trying to comp. He was comping vocals on one side, and there was another screen over here where I could see exactly what he like. It's just, they're
Got
connected.
you. Got you.
So like as he's comping, I'm like, okay, cool. Like okay, I could just bring the volume down once he's done quickly. You know, so like.
So you're seeing
So I'm
everything
seeing
that he's
everything
doing.
instead of like
Gotcha.
him doing it and then me going back to the session and being like, all right, cool, let me play it and see
what does he
has to
need?
be,
What does he
you
want?
know?
Got
Yeah.
you. That's pretty dope.
Yeah, and Janae's that's been very fresh. Like I literally just started working with her, and honestly, I feel like overall, just like energy wise, like she's a really dope artist to be in the room with. Just like I don't feel like I'm working with someone of that status.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I feel like I'm in the studio with like a homie and like
So
working
humble.
on music. Like it's so humble. Like
Yeah.
there is no like she doesn't make me feel less than. You know?
That's dope.
But also like I've learned a lot in the short period of just like frequencies, just like what someone is sensitive to versus what someone's not, you know. And she's pregnant right now, so she might be a little bit more sensitive to certain frequencies and stuff. And me taking those frequencies out of certain things, even mixes that I'm working now, I'm like, oh, it's smoother, you know.
Got
So
you.
like just like learning different things.
That's a
I feel like
crazy experience.
from one person to the next, there's always something that like
Yeah.
I've pulled from. Yeah.
All right, we back. Okay, so something super controversial happened in the NBA. Jordan Poole
got the
got
beat
the
down.
defas.
He
practice.
definitely caught the defas.
So, whether Draymond gets suspended, fined, whatever the case may be, like, what do you guys see? How does this change everything for the Warriors on your end?
Shit, bro. I don't. There's two ways. I said it when it first came. There's two ways. The Warriors can either be really shit and garbage, or the Warriors can go and win a chip. There's two options. And why I say that, because it can either bring the team together and be like, fuck all that shit, we're brothers. Like, shit happens. Let's do it. Like when Michael beat the shit out of Steve Kerr and then they ended up winning. Funny enough, Steve Kerr hit that shot for him against Utah, right?
Yeah.
After he had beat him up and shit. So it's like, that's how I look at it. It's either that you can grow and go to the top, or you can destroy yourself and and then have more drama on the inside. And I don't want to play here. I need to request a trade. And I feel like if Draymond leaves that team is not winning a chip, because that man is.
They need him.
Yeah, bro, you saw it when he was out. Steph was dropping 50 a game,
especially defensively.
They couldn't even win. Steph was dropping 50 a game
and pushing the ball.
Yeah,
he just pushes the ball.
It's just everything that he does. His illegal screens, everything.
What do you think?
The Steve Kerr and Jordan incident, that was during a game?
No, that was in practice. That was in practice. During a game would have been crazier, bro. Yeah.
No, I'm just curious as how that video even got out. Like, why that specific?
Someone wanted a bag.
TMZ definitely paid for that.
It's simple.
TMZ definitely paid a bag for that, bro. You think they put it out themselves?
No chance.
The organization just put it out like that?
No, I mean, I don't think that, but just it's a statement. It's a statement video.
What do you mean by that? What's the statement?
I just feel like the NBA is messy right now. Like,
I mean, the NBA is super messy. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Explain more. Oh, because of the whole.
there's just a lot going on. You know what I mean?
There is. There's a lot of HR cases going on in the NBA right now.
It's super messy right now. It's super messy right now.
So
from Homeboy and Nina Long.
Do you guys think the Warriors should allow Draymond to come back? Like, or does it have to be like there has to be a suspension? There has to be a fine?
If I'm Jordan Poole, the only way he comes back if I get to sucker punch him too. That's it. I told you, bro.
You know when you're when you're a varsity player and your grades are bad and they're like, "No, we're gonna figure this out." I feel like that's what's gonna happen.
That's the situation. That's a good way. Okay, now I got a question. What would you do if you were Jordan Poole? How you handling this? y'all know what I said. I'll say it on camera.
I seen something on some on Instagram. It was like someone said like they'd be the GBG or something, Get Back Gang. Yeah,
I seen that too.
That's where I stand with that, because there's no way you're just gonna fool me. Like, and it's crazy because like if you as a grown man, especially like as a grown man, like if you folded me like that, it's like, yeah, I shouldn't take the disrespect, but is it really worth the scrap? But then the video got leaked.
Bro, like I'm telling you, he cannot raise his voice on no one. If he raises his voice on his woman, she gonna look at him and be like, where was that? Where was that, Mr. Strong Guy against Draymond?
No, cases like this is where you make someone overreact because of that. You know what I mean? Like, now someone might say something to him, he might overreact.
That's
because
true.
It's like,
that's true. I'm taking shit no more.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? I gotta be super.
Someone just tells him, yo, put it over there, not here. Fuck all that shit. You ain't my mom. I'm sick of you.
For real,
ends up punching his wife and stuff.
Yo, he's
I'm telling you, I'm shooting his kneecap.
Yeah,
bro.
no, that
he's
sucks.
in a tough decision to be in. Like,
nah, bro, I'm shooting.
You have to
beating
not react.
Draymond. I'm
like,
telling you.
think about it. He's got a max contract coming up. He's got a lot to lose.
But he can leave that.
He could have fumbled it like Miles Bridges off that.
Okay.
The devil tested him arguably just as hard.
But think about it. What we were talking off camera with Campbell is like he literally can just. The organization can tell him, yo, walk away, bro. We need to keep our core guys. Both ways, it could go south for him. You don't know what's going to happen with him.
What do you
it's
mean?
not just
they
about
want
Draymond.
him, bro. The fuck is you talking about?
Yeah, they want everybody, bro. They want LeBron too if they can get LeBron, but that's not the conversation. If you have to choose between one or the other, right now, I just told you, and you agreed with me. Without Draymond, that team is nothing.
Nah, but Jordan Poole has value. Long term, I would keep Jordan Poole.
Okay, question. Forget long term. They want it back to back, bro. They don't want long term. Steph Curry has like 2 more years.
I just feel like Draymond's replaceable at this point. He's not.
Who?
Draymond is replaceable.
Who?
I don't know. Like you could get
name him.
I don't know.
Then he's not replaceable.
He's replaceable.
You know Jordan Poole is replaceable. I'm just saying
Jordan Poole is getting better. Like I feel like Draymond's best years are behind him.
Draymond is the anchor of that team. It's not just about his best years. Him being on the court, the vocal leader that he is, the leader in general that he is.
But I'm just saying, if you're putting
Jordan Poole is not that guy.
I agree, but I'm just saying if you're gonna put me at if you're gonna put me like that, I might strategically.
That's
pick
why
who-
you'll not be that's why you lose in all your fantasy leagues.
Bro, fuck
And
outta
that's why you will never be a GM in basketball. This is exactly why. Because you taking Jordan Poole over Draymond. Get out of here, bro. No, I said it,
Just
man.
saying
I'm
it's a
beating
debate,
Draymond
bro.
up.
Don't
I need a fair.
a come up.
I need to beat Draymond up, and that video needs to leak for me to be satisfied at that point. I'm petty gang. Like, what? You beat me up, bro. It's you know, I agree with you. It's the fact that the video leaked. That's where I'm just like, oh, if I was in that situation, I can't walk up with my head high. I can't. The only time I can do that is on the ball court. Because anybody can just laugh at me. Anybody can be like, you got knocked the fuck out.
But it's not even like that. Yo, literally like 2-3 days.
Oh, no,
later,
he got folded, brother.
I know, about 2-3 days later, he's outside. He's crossing man's up. He's hooping.
On the ball court.
Yeah.
Did you guys see that tweet where they made a 2K player? It looked like Jordan Poole.
Yeah, I did see that.
And then they just had a black eye.
I did see that.
I'm like, yo.
The internet's crazy, bro.
The internet is definitely
Don't be
undefeated,
violating
man.
niggas on
That
regular.
shit is crazy,
Yeah.
bro.
But yo, when you were
Bro, that's
saying
a normal human being, bro.
Yeah,
when
make
you were
it-
saying
internet
off
will go
record,
make you go
like
crazy.
as an artist, if you have the internet as your support, like there's value in that because the internet is undefeated. So like, I like when you mentioned that earlier.
Well, no, it was in a interview. G Herbo was talking about it.
Yeah, yeah.
Him and I don't know who the guy is that was interviewing him, but yeah, they brought that up, and it's facts. Like, if you have the internet behind you, you can't really be blackballed. I mean, you can by the industry, and they said that too. But the overall is just like you're still gonna have. Like, I look at, if you have the internet behind you, that's just like you having a cult following. You know, like
NBA YoungBoy.
like NBA YoungBoy
So-
or like Russ. Like most of these guys have a certain following that they're able to do what they do because of like they don't need to depend on popularity contests,
Yeah.
you know, or like they don't need to depend on industry people shutting them out because they have other avenues of where their people actually come from, you know.
Okay, what about people like Chris Brown and Tory? I know we touched on Tory already, but what about people like them who Twitter, the cancel culture, does not fuck with them, but they're still able to sell records? I mean, CB was just on tour not too long ago. He's not doing arena tours like he used to be, or he once was, but he's still doing that. How would you look at that as those two guys? Do you feel like, because, I mean, this is how I've looked at it, but music, when you have a great product, when your music is good, people are gonna fuck with you no matter what, right? But those guys, the cancel culture, Twitter still hates both of them. Till this day, you mention Chris Brown in front of people on Twitter, they're gonna be like, "What are you stupid?" And Tori don't even think about Tori right now. Tori,
Yeah, but
I mentioned Tori to a shorty in Toronto, and she almost canceled me, and I was like, "What? That's fucking crazy!" Like, allow the guy.
Yeah, I feel like it's to each his own. Like, you know what I mean? Like, regardless of what's going on, like I said, like, on Twitter or whatever else,
Yeah.
there's, like, probably the same amount of people on Instagram that fucks with those guys. So
You
it's
think
like,
Instagram is where it's at, or Twitter?
No, I'm not saying, I don't even know if Instagram's where it's at. I'm just saying, like, there's some people other places that value what they do, you know? So it's like,
Right.
if Tory can drop an album and it goes #1 with him being independent and in the situation that he's in, that goes to show itself. If Russ could come to Toronto or the Garden and sell it out,
Which he did.
you know, and
Which he did.
right?
Yeah.
That says enough for itself. Like, you don't have to be cool to everybody.
Russ doesn't have a publishing deal?
Everybody can't like you. He probably has some sort of a deal, but he's been independent from
Right.
the longest time.
Yeah.
You know what
I feel
mean?
like he might have had a
even-
publishing deal.
He has some. I think he has some sort of a deal with Columbia. If I'm,
Yes.
you know.
No, that's
but,
what I remember too.
But even that's just him thinking of, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like at that point he already knows what's going on.
That's
you know
like
what
what
I
we
mean?
were talking off.
Even
off
like he
camera a
talks
little
about
bit.
he's put his own money into his tracks, whether it's billboards and shooting the videos
Right,
and all that stuff.
right.
You know, so it's like I don't know. I feel like if people don't fuck with people are not gonna like you everywhere, bro. Like
That's for sure.
Facts.
That's for sure.
people are not gonna like you, and it's just like you just gotta accept that.
Like
right?
people don't even like
Like-
Drake at this point. People don't even like Jay-Z, and Jay-Z is still one of the biggest rappers in the game.
So many people talk about how Jay-Z's like basically just like shitted on women growing up.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's just like you
Now
guys
married the
don't-
woman.
You guys don't understand that also like people change. You know,
That
like
too. That too. He was a
like-
lot younger when he was doing that.
like I'm not saying Chris Brown's perfect. I don't know Chris Brown personally at all, so I
Right.
can't even speak for the guy, but
right.
I enjoy his music and I don't
Yeah.
think that I personally don't think that he's the exact same guy from the incident that happened.
He was
to him
16.
years ago. He was a kid. He was
He was
also a kid when he
16.
got signed in the industry. Like,
Yeah.
man, like, who
Or
knows?
maybe a little older. He's probably
know?
18 by that time.
Was he? No, I think
He got signed when
was-
he was 16, I believe. I think he was 17 or 18
when that happened. Yeah,
when that happened,
yeah,
but
right.
he was
So
still
it's like,
young.
He's of course.
Yeah, and he matured. He learned. Now he has a daughter. Like I know he's not touching no women like that no more.
He has like 3 kids now.
I think he has two daughters, and a son. Yeah,
But yeah, you know what I mean. So it's like, I don't know. Yeah.
I feel you.
So I wanted to ask you, like, I know we mentioned earlier Lil Wayne, but like, who are some of your favorite artists?
Ooh.
Wayne, Hove.
Who's winning in a versus battle, Wayne or Hove? I know I'm doing this to you right now. You have to pick one.
I can't. I actually can't. I can't. I will say though that like a lot of the Wayne joints that I grew up on, looking back, or not that I grew up on, but like a lot of the songs that we'd go crazy for when they would drop.
Yeah.
Looking back, I'm like, what the hell was this nigga saying? You know what I mean? Like, really, like, what are you saying? But there was also a lot of fire joints in there that like, it's not. I'm not gonna say it's timeless, but it just brings you back to the time.
Right.
You know?
Right. And
So-
it makes you feel what you felt when you first heard it.
Yeah.
Would you
Where
say
Hove,
Jay's
I
timeless?
feel like
though?
Hove's records are a little bit more.
They still.
And
I
I'm
see what you're
talking
saying.
when I'm talking about Wayne on that stuff. I'm mainly talking about like mixtapes.
Okay.
You know, because
Mm.
album wise, like Carter 1 and Carter 2, Carter 2 is my favorite album, but Carter 1 would be my second favorite.
Carter
And,
2
like,
is my favorite album for sure.
Carter 3 was fire,
Carter 3 was industry.
but it was industry.
Well, it was
right?
industry, fire industry though.
But Hove, I felt like I'm always learning, like always.
Yes.
You know, there's always game in his raps. like,
Yes.
just always. So
It's one thing about Hove that I'll give over a lot of the old cats is that he matures with his music. Whereas in like, and again, I hope people don't think I hate Eminem. I love Eminem. But it's like I listen to Eminem and I already see someone shaking their head. Right? But I look at Eminem and it's like, to me, I don't feel like M has matured with his music. He's not teaching me anything new. Now, again, somebody can look at me and be like, well, M was a completely different rapper than Hove, right? Because Hove, his whole lifetime, he was showing you the struggle, how he made his money, and how he basically moved from the projects, the hood, and then going towards a different lifestyle, like a business lifestyle, right? But that's the one thing with Hove for me is his maturity. I don't see that a lot. Do you feel like Drake can be that?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Mm.
That's a good question, but I don't know. To be super honest, I feel like Drake is like. Drake's almost too much of a pop star now.
Yeah, he says it. I'm a pop star, not a doctor, but yeah.
And so, yeah, I'm not too sure. Like, I feel like something that stuck out to me on Beyonce's last album was that she was talking about things that wasn't necessarily, I didn't find necessarily aligns with her, but maybe it aligns with her thoughts.
Right.
Right?
Right.
But I'm like, I don't feel like like somebody else could have sung this song and convinced me of it a little bit more. Even though she's really good at executing, and she's a really good, like Beyonce is Beyonce. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Beyonce will never.
Yeah, I feel like there was. It's like there gets to a certain point where it's not authentic enough, and with Hove, it's like it feels authentic. You know?
I love what you're saying.
So,
I love.
do I think Drake can do it? I think it depends on the type of records he decides to give us, for real. Because Drake could make a lot of different, like.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, I guess I like what you said about the whole Drake. Is that he can give us different. Like I look at a song like "Diplomatic Immunity," and then it's like he can give me that, but then he can give me your pussy. You know what I'm saying? And it's like it's completely different, a whole different vibe, right?
Yeah. I feel like what people also need to remember is like Drake's just having fun too.
Yo,
you know?
He's having the most fun with
I
music.
think he's just having fun with music.
Yeah,
it's a lot of people shit on. Well, I have a homie who like always goes back and forth with me about Drake, and I'm like, bro, like,
tell him to grow up.
This guy's like Drake has it figured out.
Yeah,
they know what works.
He's so calculated, bro. If you don't see that by now, you're not. You're just hating to hate.
Yeah.
And it's crazy that you said that because I have one of my homies who we actually went out to dinner for my birthday. My birthday was in August. But he just took me out for dinner and we started talking. And me and him always used to talk music, right? And basketball, funny enough. And he always had that thing against Drake. And I'm like, bro, like, I really feel like if Drake wasn't from Toronto, you would show Drake a lot more love.
Yeah.
And he's like, nah, I like Drake the mixtape and I like the rapping, but then he's just a pop star and I don't like pop. I'm like, that's what you tell yourself, because at one point Eminem was a pop star and you guys didn't want to believe that he was a pop star, right? As much as M was dark rap, he was still a pop star.
Yeah.
And you liked Eminem. And I feel like a lot of people in the city just got to give the man his credit already. He is 50 moves ahead, whether you like it or not. His whole team is 50 moves ahead of you. They're not thinking about just a now. They used to, maybe when they first came out, but then he got to a level where he understood, yo, I'm going to be the biggest, whether you guys like it or not. There's no one stopping me. Yeah. I am the closest thing to Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Right? I want to ask you, and this is not on, I know I didn't prep you for this. This is a question that just came to my head. Matt doesn't even know I'm about to ask this question. If you got the opportunity to work with Kanye, with all the stuff that Kanye has, all the controversial stuff that he says, would you take it or would you say, nah, I'm not doing this? I know you might be looking at me like, are you crazy? This is Kanye West. But I know people said I would not work with Kanye right now.
This is a crazy question too because it's on camera, so I gotta be honest.
Yeah.
Fuck. I feel like one thing I've always tried to do when it comes to like just appreciating artists or music or whatever. Sometimes it's like, and what I think I just do it overall because what I DJ, I might not listen to at the crib. You know.
Got you.
So there's just like appreciation in different places, but I've always tried to separate like the whole Chris Brown thing, like separate what happened versus the music. Like you can't deny that the music's good.
No,
you know,
undeniable.
Type shit. So
it's like you can't say Kanye is not a genius.
I can't say Kanye is not a genius when it comes to music. I might not be the biggest fan of the stuff he's creating right now, to be very honest with you. So
yeah.
I feel like
Agreed.
I wouldn't rush. Like, I think any opportunity, personally, right now in my career is at that status is definitely a good opportunity for me to be a part of. I think what Kanye is going through and the shit that he's saying, regardless of how much he believes it or not, or if he feels like he's overreact, or if he realizes that he might have overreacted here or there. I think that has nothing to do with me.
Right.
So if I was to sit there and say like, no, I'm not gonna work with Ye because he said da 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 da, then it's like I could also just be like, you know, messing up something, a part of the path of my career.
Right.
You know? So
right.
I think it would definitely be like, I would have to definitely be in the moment, and I would definitely have to feel really affected. Cause when I see the stuff on Instagram, I'm laughing. You know what I mean? Like I'm not, and like for sure, there's times where we should be political and whatnot, but I'm not really a political person. I think the Black Lives Matters definitely brought out a little bit more speech from me. Like I spoke a lot more about whatever, but like I'm not here to be a critic for everything. Like the Kanye shit's hilarious, you know, and he's just like, oh, finally to talk to you, bitch. And
good to hear from you.
Good to hear from you. And then in the same context, he says, "I miss you."
Yeah,
you know. So like, I'm just like, for me, it's I don't know. Like, I'm actually just. It shouldn't be entertainment either, because like he actually is ruffling a lot of feathers with people who, you know, matter to whoever. You know what I mean? That's
also
it's also not my business. Like, if it wasn't for social media, we would never know this shit.
That's
you know
true.
What I mean? Like,
that's true.
Or if it wasn't for the news, we wouldn't know. So it's like, it's not directly happening to me. He didn't run through my door wearing a White Lives Matter T-shirt, or
that's true.
He didn't text me saying
he didn't
some
tell you
crazy
you're
shit.
a Fed.
He didn't tell me it's war. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, like he told Puff it's war. Like, it's not me, so I can't hold that against, you know, the actual situation. Like, I feel like sometimes we want to be so opinionated about everything,
right?
You know, and be like, oh, like, nah, it should be like this, da da da. It's like, yo, yeah, he's gonna do that. He's gonna do that. Like, yeah, you ain't gonna stop him. Like, but it's like, it's also fucked up when Pete Davidson was doing what he was doing, and like he got your kid's name tattooed on him, and you posted pictures of you and Shorty in the bedroom just to like, all things could be avoided. Those things like that could have been avoided.
Right.
But how do you think that makes a man feel? You know? So it's like, overall, it's just like, we can't always just be in everybody's business because of one thing. It's like, yo, there's a whole lot of other shit going on. Like, I got rent at the end of the month.
Seeing it from the outside.
Yeah, I got
you know,
rent. I got
rent at the end of the month. You know, like, for real. Like, so, yeah, that's my long answer to that. For real.
Fair. Now, it's crazy. So, this is how we got OTR to come on the show. We had an episode.
We're gonna play the clip back.
Good quality music does not need that high of marketing, unless you're an upcoming artist, because you need to put yourself out there. But if you're already known artist and you have a big label budget to push yourself, it's most likely because your album's trash. But I had said, we had posted a video, and I had said in the video, artists that are big do not need big label budget. If your content is good and your content's really high of quality, you do not need high marketing budget behind it. And that's where you disagreed in the comment. Mm-hmm. Now, I want to hear your perspective and why you say, because that's how you came here.
Yeah. Well, no, first thing is, like, when you say high budget, what's high budget for you?
Like, okay, so I look at an artist like Justin Bieber, right? Mm-hmm. And this happened 2020. Justin Bieber had dropped Changes, and he had almost put in $1 million into marketing, right? And then I look at The Weeknd, and he had dropped his album After Hours around the same time, but for marketing, he had only put, I think, around 50K. And The Weeknd's album beat him in anything. Sales, all of it. Do you see what I'm saying? So to me, I look at Changes, and I know Changes was a horrible album. Like a horrible. I've talked to people that wrote on the album, and they're like, "Yo, the quality of the album is trash."
Is that like the bluish green?
No, that was the red album.
Was it the red one?
Like a very light orange red.
Okay.
Yeah, it was his first album that he hadn't come out in an album for a minute.
Yeah.
And that was my thing. It was, I look at artists that spend a lot. That conversation was more for Gunna and then Future.
Yeah.
Okay, Future has been around longer. Future's fan base is stronger. But if you look at Future, he had zero marketing for his last album. And that album did really good because the quality of that album was good. I look at Gunna, I wouldn't say Gunna's upcoming, right? He is part of the new artists, but then Gunna had a lot of marketing pushed behind his album. the whole Pitch and P, they had a lot of marketing behind it. I can't tell you the number because they haven't put it out, but I would definitely say that they had a lot of money behind that, and that's what led him to get the number one, right? But if you're an artist that's making great music, I don't feel like you need that budget. You don't need that high budget unless you know your album's trash, but you're still that status and you need to market it or push it to the world.
I think that you will overall need, like, if you're trying to do shit
100%.
like, you know,
You're always going to need a budget.
you're always gonna need a good amount of money because marketing includes videos too, right?
Right.
So it's like the average video being shot in around those, like that, you know, status of people is more than 50K.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So I feel like, yeah, overall, like if you're trying to like really blow, you need to pay a good amount of money for marketing, and not everybody has that. Like the majors, we're talking about majors. So majors, it's like, yeah, you still do, even if you are big, because it's still, you still have to follow, like, for the most part, you're still following certain plays. And certain plays call for bread regardless.
100%.
You know, so it's like not everybody's able to just drop an album and then put it out.
But
and
that's
those,
my
and
thing.
those
I feel like the
those
quality
that
of
do-
music is just better for those guys. So the quality of music. Now, After Hours might have not been a 50. Maybe it had been 100.
Yeah.
I don't think he spent much on marketing because he didn't push anything prior to the videos, right? And he did 3 videos. I would say the After Hours song, that video maybe, and Blinding Lights cost him 100 at max.
But Blinding Lights was already out, right?
Blinding Lights was already out.
So that's why the album beat Justin. It's because
But Changes was already out too with Justin. Justin had already put out a single. They all do that, where they put out a single before the album comes out,
like
and then they milk
Blinding
it.
Lights compared to Changes.
That's what I'm telling you. The quality of music was a lot better. That's why people love that. People supported The Weeknd over Justin, even though he had already. Bro, he had what's her name, Ariana Grande. Him and Ariana Grande had like a whole program that they were doing on TikTok to get people to listen to the album more,
Right.
and it still didn't sell more than The Weeknd.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
I think that was also that creates controversy though,
I'm listening.
because then other people who aren't a fan or who don't want to see them win are not going to play the record. Like I remember when that was going on, and I was like, okay, well, why am I going to play this when this is what's going on? I'm not
Okay.
saying like that's the reason why he's so
Right.
but like
That's something.
you got to put that into play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I'm listening.
you're out here begging for what's it called, and everyone's just like, why are these people doing? And you know, Twitter's crazy.
Oh, Twitter roasted
Twitter's
his
crazy,
ass.
like especially Black Twitter.
Roasted his ass. Justin caught one.
Like
Yeah. You have to come back with
Twitter's
Daniel
a
Caesar and
dangerous
Giveon,
place.
bro.
Like it's actually, I don't even have Twitter, and I just know that like Twitter's a dangerous place. So it's
You
like,
don't have Twitter?
no, it's just too much.
Ooh. Honestly, I go to Twitter for entertainment, and then I look at stuff, and I'm like, okay, Twitter's ugly. I'm off.
I already spent too much time on Instagram for my own good. Like I would rather spend less time.
Right.
And obviously like that's my choice. So it's like there's just like
Yeah.
the habit of opening Instagram, scrolling, and then closing it, and like opening it again, especially in
We're
places
also
when like
programmed.
you don't want to be. Like I'll, if I'm at the club and I'm not DJing, I will do that like all night, and I'll be like, literally, I have no reason to be on my phone. I'm just like on Instagram.
Yeah.
It's like you have an addiction and you can't afford another addiction.
You know,
Those slow nights at the club when I'm working there, I just get like, and I feel you. I'll start opening up Instagram.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the hell am I on Instagram for? Like, I don't need to be on this shit. Then I realize I'm just bored. I feel like we're all programmed to just kind of do that.
It's the phones, man.
Yeah, but that's a good perspective. I look at it as in like the quality. My whole thing was that if you have
You
great
can't
quality,
beat good music.
No.
You literally can't beat good music.
like,
But
good
it's
music
like,
doesn't need to be marketed
But
that
then it's-
much.
but then
especially when you're high up there.
yeah.
Like if you're upcoming artist, no, you need the most budget. Like you need as much as you can. Like you said off camera, go and actually partner with other people. Use other people's money to get that because you need that. But if you're an artist in that status and you're music is just so good. You do not need to have $1 million behind your album. I don't feel like it.
Yeah, definitely not 1 million.
I don't get you. There are the music videos that can cost, especially when you have a creative director, and then now they're
250K easily.
that's a $250,000. Yeah, 100%.
You know, so
100%. That could be one video too.
I think where like a lot of the money comes into play is also like pushing the record to radio. 'Cause,
right.
Like, yeah, you could have your shit could blow up, but that doesn't mean that radio is gonna play it.
I feel like now radio is still a key, but I look at TikTok as the new radio. If you figure out how to put your music on TikTok and make something out of it, that's what's gonna blow you up. Like look at
I think you might get paid more from radio than TikTok.
You do get paid more from their radio for sure. But what I'm saying is to get your music out there, there's other channels that you can use. Like when I look at TikTok, what's his name? Steve. Oh my God. Bad Habits. You know the song Bad Habits? What's his name? Steve. Remember we played it at the crib? Sorry? Steve Lacy. Thank you so much. Steve Lacy. Bad Habits is number one thing. This is going to his third week in a row.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all because of TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
It just blew on TikTok. But now he's number one on a Billboard. And landing number one on a Billboard is huge. Right? Mm-hmm. You used to need radios to land number one on the radio, on the Billboard. Now is what I'm saying. You have something like TikTok where you don't need it. You don't need the radio to get paid, of course, but you don't need the radio to get you that number one hit.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like it's not the first thing that I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Even as an artist manager, I'm not looking to. I always want the radio.
Less people are also listening to radio, right? Like,
that's the thing.
Everyone,
Yeah, I think
a lot more people are getting
Streaming.
onto like a streaming services. You sign up for Bell TV, you get this. You sign up for Rogers, you get that. Like everything's kind of connected.
People
to
that are really
Spotify
listening to the radio are middle-aged people who are going back and forth to work.
Mm-hmm.
In the morning and in the afternoon or in the evening when they go back from work. Those are really the target audience for the radio now. It's not even the 16-year-old girls that used to listen to the radio because those girls can go on TikTok. Those girls are actually leading TikTok with the dances, with the music. What was that? There was another song that from a play. I forgot the name of it. I'm gonna get the name of it. But that was a song in the 70s. And this song came on, what's the sci-fi show that is huge?
Star Trek?
The Running Up the Hill by Kate Bush.
Running Up the Hill, Kate Bush. Thank you. See, I love this guy. It literally was TikTok, bro. She was on sorry, what was the show that you
It's definitely unpredictable.
Stranger Things?
Stranger Things. She came on Stranger Things, and then TikTok just took her, boom, straight to number one. This song came out in the 70s, bro.
Yeah, it's definitely unpredictable.
That's the
You know
beauty
what I
of
mean?
it
Like,
now.
It's beauty in disguise.
You're right.
Because you can't be sitting around thinking that like I gotta do this for
Yeah.
TikTok. Like
No.
you know, it's like
It's just another avenue.
yeah,
I mean, I've heard labels say that. I've heard label A&Rs say that a lot of labels don't even. I wouldn't say a lot of there are labels that are looking at you, and it's like, yo, you got to make TikTok music,
Yeah, if you have
If we wanna
TikTok
push you.
influence, it matters.
and then we can push you even harder.
I think with most labels they've there was a hot minute where they were running to check out everything on TikTok, and then they realized that like okay, just because one person gets one song doesn't mean that like we could be signing ourselves up for a whole bunch of one hit wonders. You know what I mean? So
That
like
is
now
very true.
Now they're kind of like sitting back and being like,
We got a lot of Trinidad
can
James
you
in
do
this
much
bitch.
more than just be a TikTok person. But I feel like there was a point where they were just like looking for everybody on TikTok.
Yeah,
you know, like,
yeah.
Could you do it? Could you do it? Could you do it? But I feel like they're also starting to realize like, hey man, like it's always a chance that you're taking. You know,
For sure.
Whether
Very
you're signing
true.
someone from
sure.
TikTok or whatever. So.
Very true.
Yeah, I have a final question for you. Whether it's DJing, producing, or engineering, do you have advice for anyone who's younger trying to pursue any of these things? Any wisdom that you could give from your experience?
That's a good question.
Honestly, just don't stop. Like I think if you stop, then you're done.
You ever want to
think-
quit,
Um,
or at least like you just be like, I'm done with this?
I've had moments like production. There was from February till August. I did this songwriting camp.
Uh-huh.
I didn't make like one beat from that whole time. It's just because I just not inspired to make shit just sitting down at the crib. I'd rather be in the studio with somebody, you know.
Right.
So, I guess in that sense. But I don't know if I feel like I've had I've had moments where I was just like, honestly, fuck DJing. Like, I'm just gonna do it from the crib. I'm just because I enjoy it so much. Like, I'll still do it at home, but
Don't do that. Don't do that to the people, bro.
Like, just in the sense of just like, fuck going to chase gigs. You know? Like,
Okay. I
like
see you.
Like I'm still gonna do this at home.
I see you.
You know, on my ones.
Yeah.
Like, even with production, like I'll still make a beat whenever I'm ready, whenever I feel like it.
Mm-hmm.
But it was more so just like, that type of tired. Not actually like I'm over it. For real.
Were you ever in a place where you were making beats to look for placements, or you were just making it out of your own hunger or your own creative zone that you're in?
I don't think I ever really chased placements hard enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got you.
I have never chased placements hard enough. So
Got you.
it's mainly been just for making beats for the homies or for like people that might hit me up and be like, "Hey, do you have beats?"
Yeah.
I
Would you
have
tell
been in
people to
room-
do that, or would you, from your experience, would you tell people to, hey, go after placements if anything, or not go after placements?
I think you should figure out what you want. You know what I mean? Like, not everybody needs a placement to be great. Like, you can be great other ways. You know what I mean? You could blow. You can do a whole sit down with an artist in your city and make a whole project, executive produced by you, and that
You just
project
create
can
a whole sound.
You just create a whole sound.
Yeah.
You never know where that can go. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So it's
yeah.
like, if you want to get into chasing placements and that's like the thing that you want to do, then sure, go ahead. But I can't really I would never give too much advice on that because I feel like, you just got to know what you want to do in this music shit. You know?
Got you.
Yeah.
I got a couple more questions. First, I want to ask you, favorite DJs in the city? Listen, we love all of y'all. I want to know his perspective.
Favorite DJs
Yes.
in the city.
It doesn't mean that he doesn't have love for the others. Just the ones that you look at and you're like, whoa, I like your style of DJing, or I like the way you move the crowd, or I like your ear for music. You play very interesting music. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who you got? Names. I want names.
No pressure.
I'm gonna say, first person is gonna be Jamie Lee.
Jesus. Shout out my sister Jamie Lee. You ever DJ with Jamie Lee?
I've never.
Oh my
Never
God.
spun
You
with
guys
Jamie
would.
Lee, yeah.
I would love to hear you two together.
Okay.
I went to school with Jamie Lee. That's why I'm like so excited. I love
Jamie's sick. Like,
yeah, Jamie's a sicko.
She really understands how to move a crowd.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
It's not about playing last over and over.
I'm
you know what I mean?
over
Like,
that song, by the way.
yeah, like certain,
I'm
like
over that song.
Toronto's so weird, bro. Like, I don't know.
Well, they have
get into it, but
they have a
anyway,
mix
she
of
just-
last that they've been playing recently. I think it's slow down last or something like
I have
that.
a pretty sick mix. I need to get some people.
Okay. Okay.
But regardless, it's like, it's more than just playing the number 5 songs
Yeah.
that everybody is listening to. You know what I mean? She
Yeah.
understands that. I'm gonna be super honest. I'm really bad with names because I don't even go out like that.
Uh-huh.
Like, honestly, I really don't go out unless I'm spinning, which is probably, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but there's this. I don't know his name, but he spins a lot of Forky's events.
Forky's events. Filipino guy?
Yeah.
Blonde hair? Or like he has colored hair? Tattoos or no tattoos?
I don't know if he has tattoos.
There's Mike Rock. I know Mike Rock
Not
does
Mike Rock.
does stuff with Forky.
Not Mike Rock.
Burma.
Not Burma.
You know Burma?
Yeah.
Is it DCR Melna?
No, but
You know who I'm-
DC's sick. I've never
DC's
met him.
hard.
I've never met him.
Oh,
I
he's
only
hard.
see videos,
He's hard.
and he knows how to rock a crowd.
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
hard. You know why? So DC's not.
I know he's not from. I know.
Yeah,
I
he's
heard
not
the
from
story,
here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yo, funny story actually. So he's in remix.
yes, he's in
And-
remix right now.
Apparently, like his remix, like the first day of remix, we do like the circle. You introduce yourself, whatever.
Yeah.
And he was just like, he's like, I'm your girlfriend's favorite DJ.
100%.
And, he said, I'm your girlfriend's favorite DJ, and I'm here to take over the Toronto DJ scene. The first words that came out
That's
of his
crazy.
mouth to his new, like the class of
His
people that he's
peers.
gonna be with. You know?
Yeah.
And then seeing his impact, yeah, like he I've never been to a spot that he's spinning at, but every time I see an Instagram video and shit, he's crazy with it.
You know what? Next time he comes to Cold Tea, I'm going to holler at you.
Okay, bet.
I'm going to holler at you and come out. I got you. I'm going to put you on the list and everything. Come out.
Let me see if I could get this.
I want to know who, because Forky has a lot of people that spin his events. What do you think of Kels? I don't want to put you on the spot.
Gambe.
Gambe. No, I don't think let me. Do you have a picture of him?
Nah, but Gambe.
I'm not familiar
seen
with the
him.
name.
I've
to
seen
be
him
honest.
spin, and he's hard.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with the name. I might have seen him around, but I'm not familiar with it.
Oh no, sorry, no, it's not Gambe. I lied. It's Geno. Yeah, I don't have a picture of him either, but Geno Christian, I think. This is Instagram.
Oh, yes, I do know this dude.
Yeah, he's hard.
Yo, he is sick.
He's hard.
He actually, I swear he was DJing some of OVO stuff for a bit too.
Okay.
He was hard. He was a very they used to bring him an apartment. Now I worked at apartment 2019. He used to be there a lot. What's your favorite clubs in the city to spin at?
I don't ever get booked at any of them. So I mean, shit. I don't know.
You gotta come out more, bro.
Shit,
You gotta
I
talk to the people that are booking people.
It's not in my category.
I
just
know.
Go out and shake.
I
hands,
know. I get you.
You know, if you can't I don't like reintroducing myself to the people over and over again.
Who'd
know
you
what I
do?
mean? Like,
You
it's
did
just
a
weird.
you did a Cold Tea Summer Sunday one time, right?
That was through Jenny.
With Jenny.
Yeah. Every time I've DJed at Cold Tea this year has been with Jenny.
She's dope
Like
too.
she's the one that.
I like Jenny too.
Yeah, she's hard.
Yeah.
She got a good like choice of music.
She does.
Yeah.
Her and Kels. Kayla Kels is another female DJ that I really enjoy, and I've watched her twice.
I spun
Do her
with Kels
thing.
before too. Kels is dope.
Kels is really dope. She came one Sunday. I mean, she came a little late. It's all love, Kels. But she rocked the shit out of the crowd, bro, and I was very impressed. Even looked at her, I'm like, yo, the way you controlled the crowd, I was very, very impressed. Like, I wasn't
She's
just
been
sitting
doing
there.
this.
She has been doing it for a minute.
Yeah.
She definitely has. All right, well, thank you so much for coming. We appreciate you. Wish
Appreciate
you
you
all
guys
the
for having
best, and we'll definitely stay in touch. I really hope you come out
Absolutely. It was a pleasure
and
to meet
DJ.
you, bro.
And next time DCR is at Cold Tea,
Yeah.
I'm letting you know ahead of
hit
time,
me. Bet.
and
Sounds good.
you
This
gotta
guy,
come
he's
out.
always selling shit out, so you gotta.
Bro, he is so good.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Mixed by OTR. Follow him on the gram. Another episode. Peace.
Easy.